Norfolk Admirals head coach Jeff Carr, the first repeat guest on Sportswrap sit-downs. So, first things first, 2026 off to an incredibly hot start. You guys have not lost in the new year. I guess the New Year's resolution was to start hot. So, considering where 2025 began, where you guys were the last place team in the league, to now where you guys have rattled off 4 straight, you just got back from a really good road trip against Adirondack. What has been the message to the team coming into the new year?
Well, good question. Not to correct you, but we weren't in last place to start the year. Everyone starts with 0 losses.
Fair enough.
We were 4-2-1 and in second place in our division. And yeah, we had a really tough month and a half stretch. Every time we 2 steps forward, it was 1 step back to 3 steps back. It was just a never-ending cycle. We saw our team get better a lot in that segment. That was what was really something that we knew we could hang on to, and we didn't have to reinvent the team throughout the way. We really held the fort on keeping, the nucleus of almost every guy here, except for I believe just 1, and then obviously you get call-ups. So the message to us was hang in there, and once it felt like that final message got evaporated and it was over, there was really nowhere else but to hang in there. We've done that, and we have so many guys that have grown, so many departments that have grown. Obviously brought in 2 guys on a trade that make more depth minutes, but just shows you don't have to bring in the top skill. We're getting health back in with Florent again, Hebert, DeRose back in, so everything's at the right time. Don't know if we've dug ourselves too big of a hole. We don't feel we have. We feel like everything's right in front of us, and we got plenty of season left to go.
You even said it only takes 2 to 3 really good weeks of hockey to get right back into the mix. Luckily for you guys are home until the end of January, a massive, I believe, 7-game homestand now, right, where you have Wheeling, who's the top team in the league, coming to your house, then you have Worcester, and then you have Troyes. 3 teams who are all ahead of you in the Eastern Conference standings. How pivotal are these next 7 games?
Yeah, I mean, from a numbers side, they're massive. We got to take care of business. We got to win a bulk of them. I go back to 2016-17. I was an assistant coach for the Utah Grizzlies, and we started 5-2-1, and then that turned to 9-16-3. And I remember going, man, we needed almost every game the back half of the year to get in, which we did for playoffs. Then I thought about it, and we had 4 or 5 heartbreaking regulation losses in February and March, and we still got in. So that gave my personal self kind of some solitude that, they're huge, massive games, but if we lose a hockey game or we tie or lose a game in overtime, we don't have to be emotional about it. We'll take our point, or we'll take a learning lesson, and then we'll just keep on the track we're going on.
One thing that I've noticed about this team this year is 4 overtime wins. Seems like there's a little bit of a clutch gene with this team, and that's something that you really can't teach. How valuable is that, knowing that, okay, if we're getting down to the dire moments of a game, we trust these guys on the ice to be able to wrap it up and come home with a win? Yeah,
we can't teach it. Every time we taught something the last 3 years in overtime, we lose. I'm dead serious. It's the craziest thing. We implement concepts and things in overtime, and we just waved the white flag that just let the players play. It's a fan's dream. It's a viewer's dream to watch overtime. You never know what you're going to get. If it's slow, fast, 3-on-0s, 2-on-1s. It's back and forth. It's ping pong, and just for whatever reason, I feel like, sometimes on those hot streaks and overtimes or shootouts, you just kind of don't say anything and let it be, and that's what we've done here.
It's interesting because in your first 2 seasons as the head coach here, you talked about kind of like the dog days of the ECHL season, right? The Januaries, the Februaries, grinding out and not being too comfortable in the position that you're in. And now it's really interesting because you're kind of on the other side of the coin. Instead of being one of the top teams in the conference, you're trying to work your way back up there and really push for a playoff spot. How different has that been for you, relishing in the dog days in a different way this year?
Great question. Just remind you that we were 1-15, took over as an assistant coach, and then go into a head coach and talk about an organizational dog days of changing as much as we could. This one's a little different. Here's the thing, 4 years ago, you're still playing with 11 forwards. You're not using an extra 3-day IR spot. You don't have a goaltender reserve spot that's open. You're not keeping an extra guy. on the IR with housing for the bulk. I'm speaking for most teams in the league. So I just created 4 extra roster spots. So every team's had 4 extra roster spots. The team usually has 20, 21 maybe healthy players in January, February in this league. It's totally different. There's 24, 25, 26 players on every roster. The dog days do not exist anymore in the ECHL. We had to have the dog days with 2, 4, and 5s on the road and traveling through states, just madness. Thankfully, those days are done. It doesn't help us now. It costs us in the standings big time. But now there's not dog days. Now it's the best players have to play. It's very college football-esque mentality where it's a Saturday and you have to win the Saturday game and you have to go undefeated. And if you don't, you have 1 or 2 losses and then you get a chance. That's our mentality in January. So we'll capitalize on a lot of practice time, a lot of preparation time. And then on Friday, Saturdays for the next foreseeable 3 weeks, that's all where we're playing. So no 3-and-3s. Best players play, and we need good goaltending and everyone to do their job.
College football mentality. So sidebar, are you a college football guy?
I'm a football fan for sure. And then living in Knoxville, Tennessee, it's hard not to. So I think that
Rocky
pulled
Top.
me back into more of the college game when I was more of an NFL guy. But I haven't watched as much football as I'd like. Maybe, I don't know, 2-3 games in the last year each, where it used to be a lot more than that.
Well, you're dialed in, so that's understandable. A couple of stats I want to throw out to you. 77% penalty kill, 14% on the power play. No shutouts on the season. So what has been the biggest point of emphasis in 2026? How do you want to see those numbers go up?
Yeah, I think the power play, we weren't earning a lot of power plays. I'm not going to let the guys off the hook. Coaches need to be better. The team needs to be better. The special teams, there's a reason they're called the special teams. You need to be a special player to be on that. With all that said, when you're losing and you're trying to get through that really tough month, everyone tries too hard at everything and overreaches. So when we only get 2 power plays and we're on the penalty kill 5, and that's not about the refs or anything, it's just, we put ourselves in a lot more penalties. So your better players that should be more rested now are going on the power play for their one chance. Psychologically, they feel they have to score, right? And they're tired. So it's a recipe for disaster. That's all flipping. For our 6% to go to 9 to 10 to 12 to 14, we started a stat going into the new year where we were scoring 2.51 goals a game. And we were giving up 3.88. I said, guys, just watch how quickly segments of 0.2, 0.3 flip. Good power play goal, good penalty kill. Not tired, score an empty net goal late. All of those little segments, those numbers will flip. And now you look at it, we're giving up 2 goals a game on the dot. And we're scoring 4, 5, 6, and 4, 20. So we're scoring 5. So now that number's 5 in our favor to 2, where it was 2.51 to 3.88. And it's not from a big, long talk. It's from departmentally and individually just doing our jobs.
So how have you instilled into the guys? Because I feel like when you look at the overall record of things, it's hard to ignore what it is.
Yeah.
But you have said multiple times, it's a new season, right? Like, no, our record is actually this at the turn of the new year. How did you instill that in the guys in the locker room to not feel discouraged, to not feel like they have a million miles to go to get to where they want to be, and that it's really just one game at a time, and hey, we're doing really well in 2026.
Yeah, well, you just said it. It's the word million. We took 1,000,000% of 1,000,000 brain power and 1,000,000 minutes to talk about every little thing. It's so exhausting. So we have just adopted say what we mean what we say, couple quick bullet points, 1950s, 60s style, things that matter. Efficiency, that's what we're doing. Everything else, just letting it be.
Yeah. One of the bright spots of this year's team is Ben Zalotti, being selected to the ECHL All-Star Classic, 10th amongst defensemen in the league for points, 8th in assists. Yeah. What has his value meant to the defense, but to this team as a whole, for him to be able to get up the ice like he is and be a real assist man like this?
Yeah, Ben's at an interesting part of his career. We think from the coaching side that he can play in the NHL one day. We're hoping that he really uses this next 3, 4, 5 months to showcase not his individual talent, but the willingness to go to a whole different level that he wants to go to. But yeah, that mindset's allowed him to become the player he has. He came in as a plus 99 in 6 years of junior and pro hockey to this year, so he's always on the plus side. His habits might look lazy at times to some, and maybe he needs to shore those up, but overall he's a game changer for us. He's a game changer for our team. We're very lucky to have him, and we just really want him to kind of lead by example, taking that next step in his individual game and career. We've sent, I think, 4 or 5 guys to the NHL in the last few years. We'd like him to be another one along that, but the process is here right now with Norfolk, but we want that to kind of go in. Yeah, and it's been huge having him here, but we still think that he can do a lot more defensively and offensively with the puck. Like, he shouldn't be top 10. We didn't have enough playmakers maybe around him. Now we do. He should lead the league in defensive scoring from January 1st to the rest of the year, and not even by a close margin if he plays his game.
I always wanted a high-paying career, but I didn't want to be stuck at a desk. In just 4 months, Tidewater Community College taught me how to drive a truck. The pay is great, and I have the independence I've always wanted. They helped me with financial aid and showed me how to enroll. TCC even helped me find a job. Now I'm on my way. Tidewater Community College. From here, go anywhere.
You said 5 players to the NHL. How proud does that make you?
I'd love to say it makes me proud. I've learned a lot on how those guys have gotten to the NHL. When they came through to Norfolk, they had they don't talk about it, but you can feel a subconscious mindset that was their goal, and they don't know when it was going to happen, 7 years, 5 years, a month from now. So it feels good that organizationally, coaches, owners, teammates, players, the affiliation, everything's had kind of a say and a helping hand, but I've just learned that it's up to the player. If the player really, really wants it that bad, you got to have fortune, you got to have good luck. It's the best league in the world, right? There's only so many spots there. Yeah. But if you keep pecking, you keep working at those types of things. So it just makes me thrilled for them, because that's their ultimate goal, and you could tell without them talking about it that it is, yeah.
One of your biggest boosters on offense over the past 7 games has been Christoph Papp.
Yeah.
9 goals, 7 games. He's been massive for you in spots. How has his impact, and kind of a similar question to that of Ben, how has his impact been to this locker room, to this offense, his ability to net goals like he has been?
Well, it's been huge, because anytime you go back to winning and then you see if there's someone that's had a streak of goals that helps in the wins, you can't dismiss that. That's common sense. So that's one. The second thing, Derek Damon coached him, a really good friend of mine that coaches in Des Moines. He said you're not sure why you picked him in October, November. You're going to scratch your head and try to trade him in December. You'll like him and you'll start working with him, and he'll be your best forward in January.
Wow.
So he told me that in August, and it's came true. And, with Papper, a lot of the rookies or younger, he's played 5 years at college, so he's been around, but these guys want to coast in and watch the game and see the game and ease in, and the players that skate and continue to move and get to spots, their skill flourishes. So it takes them usually a month or two, and it's no different with Papper, where he realizes if he skates on the back check or on the forecheck or gets into a spot, now you go see some of our goals that happened, like our first goal on with Brady Florent beating his guy off to the side of the net, is Papper back checking through the middle, making a pass to Zloty, and then the skill happens. Then you see the overtime winner, him getting up in the play. You see him scoring a power play goal because he's landed at the net because he got there. So good on him getting to spots that he needs to get to, and then we signed him for a reason, to score goals. He needed to fill our Phillips Fornes-Svensson role of 20, 25 goals. I know everyone thinks that's crazy. I had him pegged at 25 goals. We'd like to see him get 30 now. Yeah. So he's on that same trajectory.
You've brought up a couple of times, the players bringing them in trades, everything like that. Last deadline, you guys made some splashes. Mm-hmm. You guys were one of the more, if not the most active team in the league when that deadline came around. What is the confidence level like in this group right now, to where you go into that deadline maybe wanting to make moves or maybe sticking with the guns that you have, rolling into what you want to be a postseason push?
Yeah, I mean, I get the question. I can't answer that now, forecasting 3 months because of health, because of what changes in the division, what changes with our mindset. We're still growing here. CJ and myself working year one together. We got a really good rhythm going right now. There's so much more to that in what the team needs. I could tell you I want to make 6 moves at the deadline and it turned out to be 1 or 2, and I could tell you 1 or 2 and it be flipped. So yeah, we'll just take it day by day and game by game, and then we'll see what type of team gives us the best opportunity if we're in that position, which we hope and should be in, and if we are, we'll go from there.
Switching gears, and I don't want to go to the past because I know the present day is the most important thing. Have you ever seen in your head coaching career anything like the strike that happened in December?
No, I haven't seen that, but if here's the deal. 5 years ago, the world shut down and people told us we couldn't go outside as human beings. And then the madness stopped. And then we restarted, and you saw where college players got paid when everyone said never in our lifetime would we see college players get paid, let alone way more than NFL players. Then 3 ice happened, which some of the guys in our league play in, and the pot and the money was exorbitant amount of money relative to what people thought it was going to be. Then a lot of the guys, elite prospects, if we go look them up 10 years ago, we want a guy that's played 40 years of committed hockey for one program. We're dying to get guys that have now transferred 3-4 times because they want the exact situation. So you just put together all 4 scenarios that I just told you, and you think that we weren't going to see something at the ECHL level for better conditions or better pay or better something, we're sadly mistaken.
Right.
Do I agree with it all? Yes or no? I have no idea because I haven't really even got into it. I get paid to coach and win games and, help lead a group in an organization. That's the lane I've stayed in. Am I happy that it's done and over with and we're back and it felt like it didn't even happen? Yeah. So that's been the most rewarding part. Like, I don't feel any residual from the players. On the other side of it, just kind of the league has kept humming along. So another good question. Yeah, I'm not really too sure what to think about it, but I think we'd be crazy if we didn't think that's the way this world's turning right now.
And it's interesting because I was going on Reddit forums in preparation for these interviews, and like a lot of the comments were, thank you to the ECHL for making it quick.
Yeah.
Again, 41 games were postponed. I know some of your road games were impacted, but how grateful were you that the ECHL was able to make it quick and make it to where you guys can get back to it?
I wouldn't say the ECHL made it quick, and I wouldn't say the players would or anyone. I think at the end of the day, players signed up to play and they want to play hockey.
Yeah.
And they don't want to go weeks without gear. So I think for their side, they just want to play hockey. And everyone wants just hockey, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, 5 years ago, everyone was willing to do at any lengths, including wearing masks for practice, to play, and guys would do anything to show up to a rink. And then it turned, during that to we'll do anything not to show up a rink. But I don't think it falls on either side for the players. It's circumstances, and the circumstances have dictated things. And again, I'm hoping that a month from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, it's all good. I don't hold a side. I'm just coaching, and I'm just glad to see that it was one weekend. We're back, and good on everyone for where it's sitting, and it feels like it's in a really good spot, and go from there.
So when you get back home, after all of that happened, in front of 5,800, that had to be like just a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Above all else. Like, what was that for you to be able to have your guys skate out and you see 5,800 and you go, let's get back to hockey?
These fans are the best fans in hockey. Like, they're unbelievable. And the reason I said is there's other teams that have bigger venues or maybe a couple more thousand fans, maybe Toledo, I don't know, there's a couple more. Tulsa's got a big rink, Orlando, but the fan base here is and I don't want to go backwards, but it had to take some brutal years of losses and year after year stacked for them to keep coming back and then come out in droves that they're doing now. Fantastic.
I know you're not you're a very present guy.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end of the 2026 season, what is the dialogue going to be about this specific group?
Oh man, you're asking me to do something that
I know.
forecast. I don't know.
I've had many conversations with you,
What
man.
am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to give you this cookie, or do I just plead the fifth? I mean, this is what we want. We want every guy that steps in here every day to not put too much pressure on themselves, that they have to go on this miracle run. And equally, they don't have to leave anything on the table, that they said, we gave it 99. 100% effort, 100% commitment to the team and to themselves. We're going to have bad stretches, bad days, good days, just like every human and every player. And then at the end of that, let's see where the chips fall. And I think they're going to fall in a spot we want them to. And then we could go on a run like we've never seen before, where we're used to being in a higher position the last few years, and we're fighting upstream. And maybe that's kind of the motto this year, where we're just going to keep fighting and pushing. And it's not going to be, we've pushed around a lot of teams in the league and we've had a lot of accolades the whole year, and that's what we're doing.
Last one. You said you've had these rough starts as an assistant before. As a head coach, you come in, you adopt a team that, like you said, needed a lot of love, and it needed a lot of turnaround based on the previous 10 years of really just purgatory, you know? What have you learned about yourself as a head coach, as a man, in this stretch to where now things are starting to turn around in 2026?
I mean, you got enough pages for 4 books, 1,000-page books. I think the biggest thing is time tested. I already knew this, but I never really thought about it as much as not the word veteran or young or rookie, but really, really rock solid players that can play the game and can think the game. Need to wear an Admirals jersey. If you can't really think the game of hockey or work to a level that you need to work, that's one. That's some huge pedigree. You know, I think the second thing would just be, Patrick Kavanaugh, our owner, says it all the time, on holding the line. I think that means different things for different people, but holding the line might mean a lot of patience one day, and it might be holding the line and having structure and discipline on another day. And I feel like holding the line has really helped us as an organization, where we're not going to just let anything slip through. There's a lot more. Man, that's a really good question. I think patience too, on seeing the bigger picture within the bigger picture. You know, we do Truth Monday, Competition Tuesday, Winning Wednesday, Tactical Timing Thursday. ECHL schedules don't always dictate that ebb and flow, but learn to just stick with that process, that if it's Monday, no matter if we won 3 in a row or 13 in a row or lost, we've got to review the game, and we have to be professional in what we're trying to accomplish for the next. We got to compete. Like, it starts Tuesday, early in the week. We don't want to be a team that drifts in. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We want to continue to do any habit that's going to help us win Friday. We're installing it tomorrow. Doesn't have to be perfect. And Thursday, the timing of it has to be perfect. So I think sticking to that week plan, holding the line, and just continuing to what does it take to be an Admiral sweater means way more than plays, playbooks, recruiting, all those things.
Jeff Carr.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate you. For Coach Carr, I'm James Catato for another episode of Sportswrap Sit Downs. We'll catch you on the next one.